And so when you decided to do sports medicine, was there a lot of other females that went down that path with you?
That's a good question. As far as anybody from my medical school that applied for a sports medicine fellowship, well, actually, it would have been for my residency. I had a small residency for family medicine, and I think there was a woman a few years after me that did it, but I didn't know any women at that time. The only people that I had contact with when I was in residency were male orthopedic surgeons. I didn't have a female sports medicine physician, either orthopedic surgery or primary care, that I could look up to or anything like that.
And how was that experience for you?
Well, when I went to the interview for the program that I eventually got a fellowship in, several of the attendings that were going to be teaching me were women. So that was really good. But other than that, when I actually got to fellowship, it certainly presented some interesting issues. And I wasn't the first woman to go through. I'm not going to say that, but you still get comments and some pushback or difficulty with being in the locker room at halftime or after the game or what have you. It wasn't 100% the same as being a male. Let's put it that way. There was still some stigma attached to a woman being around male athletes at times.
And since you've been working in sports medicine, has that changed?
I would say it has changed for the better. Is it all gone? No. But certainly since the early 2000s, there have been changes as far as just more acceptance. And it's much more common for females to be in orthopedics or sports medicine all around, not just as physicians either, as athletic trainers, as physical therapists. So I think that it just continues to get better.
And when you've been going through this process of schooling and fellowship, did you ever experience any symptoms of burnout?
Yeah, I would say mostly as an attending, just dealing with student loan burden has caused some of my feelings of burnout. And I realize more now than ever that being a woman in a practice with men over the years has contributed to some feelings of burnout.
Could you elaborate a little bit about how being the only female is contributing to feelings of burnout?
Yeah, being a woman in a man's world. For instance, when I had my first child, I had to go back to work at 6 weeks, and it was hard. It was really hard. And they were just like, we'll figure it out. There was definitely no compassion. And at the time, my husband was still working. So my daughter went to daycare at 6 weeks, and she got sick a few times. And so then what would happen when she got sick? Well, my husband and I would quick have to call my mother to come down. She lived 2 hours away, and just wasn't a very smooth transition at all. And there was no compassion. There was no helping to figure it out. It was just, well, you got to be back at work in 6 weeks, so just do it. Put her in daycare. So that was one of the biggies with being the only woman physician in a practice with all male physicians.
I'm sure that was so hard to put your baby in daycare at 6 weeks.
It was. Yeah.
What are your skills for coping with this reality of still working in a practice where you are the only female?
I think I'm better now about pointing out when there's a disparity because of gender, but my coping skills could be better. Coaching, being in a program where the coach does coach on burnout, that certainly has helped to be in a community of women physicians who talk about different issues. And a lot of them are the same, no matter what specialty we're in. A lot of us have the same issues to deal with. So that has certainly helped me to process different situations that come up and deal with it.
What are some of those similarities you found between other female physicians?
I think having discussions about salary, showing our value, showing how we can actually be more valuable. In my case, I think showing that being a female will a lot of females want to see another female as a physician, especially in sports. So certainly fostering women's sports medicine atmosphere and bringing femininity to medicine has helped.
For us, by us, and just for us, this is hope for men.